I've been seeing this kind of thing for a while. It's just been getting worse and more scary. One of my daughters is not very political. There's really not much in her online history that indicates one way or another which way she's leaning. Now, after the objectively disastrous Biden debate back in June, she began to see news clips of Biden's gut-wrenching performance, but only of the few times when he appeared semi-lucid. The Trump clips she was seeing were all of his worst moments, and in this way, the internet created an alternate reality for her in which the debate was pretty much a tie. She was alarmed to see a summary of the actual debate, which I most certainly did show to her, because she had no idea what had really happened. Now, my other daughter, whose online presence is pretty conservative, she saw the actual debate. She had a clear understanding of what had really happened because the internet realized, I guess, that to show her fake pictures would drive her away. On July 13th, a near teenager walked casually around a Trump campaign event with a rangefinder, unchallenged. He got on a ladder, climbed to a roof of a building with a clear shot of Donald Trump about 100 yards away. He was observed in that place with a gun in his hand by the Secret Service snipers who did not fire. The number of alleged mistakes made by the Secret Service during this assassination attempt are so numerous, we could never cover them all here. Suffice it to say, our country avoided what could quite possibly have been an armed uprising by fractions of an inch. This event resulted in perhaps the most iconic political photograph in the history of the United States, with Trump showing a level of personal courage and fortitude that would have been impressive for a battle-hardened Marine. And in the days following this event, it was impossible not to see it on the news, and then it began to be erased. Google searches trying to find information on the assassination attempt instead gave you information on Vice President Kamala Harris. Facebook began censoring this photo in order to make sure that people would forget all about it as soon as humanly possible. In both these cases, the high-tech socialists responsible were caught red-handed. But as you can imagine, there are most certainly millions of examples that were not caught and are more subtle manipulation of the truth to try to make this event fade away as quickly as humanly possible. Ever since the orchestrator of the illegal alien invasion assumed the position of presumptive Democratic Party nominee, the news media has closed its eyes and stuck its fingers in its ears about anything related to the assassination attempt, including, most especially, the very real possibility that this was a deep state attempt to kill Donald Trump. The number of alleged errors that resulted in Mr. Trump nearly being killed defies belief by anyone who knows anything about security. Instead, they're focusing their attention on Bumbler-in-Chief number 2, brushing aside the fact that she won't actually talk to anybody, brushing aside the fact that she chose a vice presidential candidate who thought the George Floyd riots were a great idea, trying desperately to hide the absolute catastrophe that she made of our border and the nearly infinite number of stupid things that she has said over the years. They're creating a fake candidate, which doesn't actually exist, in order to fool, once again, a gullible public. Now, I remember the Reagan assassination attempt. I remember where I was, what I was doing, what I was thinking at the time, very, very vividly. And I remember where and when I heard about Trump being shot. As a sign of the times, I heard it from one of my kids, who's more plugged into the news than I am. However, if the anti-American, pro-socialist media has its way when we're asked where we were when the Trump assassination attempt occurred, somehow that memory is just not going to come up. We'll think of it pretty much just like any other day when nothing of consequence really happened. And that is exactly the way these people want it to be.